Hello there, welcome back to Simon's Shed. It's time for another layout update on the Severn Valley Railway, my N-gauge version of part of the Severn Valley Railway. And yeah, we're nearly at the end of 2020. We nearly made it. Well done, everyone. So yeah, this will probably be the last layout update of this year, but obviously plenty more to come. So coming up, more scale scenes houses, working on Kidderminster Station, and finally doing some ballasting. So yeah, I've been carrying on with the sort of Kidderminster Station end of the layout and made a bit more progress. So yeah, let's take a look at what I've been doing. Right, so one of the last things I mentioned in the previous layout update was that I'd started another scale scenes kit, another go at the low relief houses and shops, and that I'd parked that after the Metcalfe kit build because I didn't really need it. Well, we'll go back into the shed and take a look at the rest of the street, but actually I do need some more shops. So, as you can see, I unparked it and had another go. And this time, as you'll know if you watched the last live stream, I've been sticking to the instructions and just using the parts from the kit. And they've turned out rather well, I think. Certainly a lot neater and crisper than the modified one. You can sort of glimpse a bit of the interiors there. I do need to spray them with matte varnish, so I'll have to mask up the windows and give them a coat of varnish otherwise, just to protect them, so I've not done that yet. So yes, rather than going for shops that look exactly like the shops that are there with 3 stories and sort of modifying everything, I've gone for let's just follow the instructions in the kit and use the exact parts from the kit. So you get the option to do houses or shops, so I needed all shops, and you get options on signs, what type of shop it is obviously. The roofs are a little bowed there and there, but yeah, that's about it really. Other than that, I'm really happy with these. So I continued with the use of the magnifying glass, and thanks to Chris at Wheezy Palace and also John at X-Haven, they suggested the Swan Morton knives are really good. So yeah, the blades have actually turned up now, and the handles, so I've been using these to finish off the kit, and I can agree with their recommendations. It's a really sort of precise, you can barely sort of feel it cutting through the paper and the card as it's so sharp. I'm sure I ordered the sort of non-sterile blades, but these seem to be like surgery grade blades. So yeah, go and check out their channels. Big thanks to them for the suggestions, and indeed everyone else who's commented and sort of reassured me that the other houses were okay. I'm still going to use the other ones. These will go further down the street, but yeah, we'll go and take a look. So these are not stuck together yet. I need to try and work out how much the slope is. There'll be something like that, I guess, as it sort of slopes down the hill. So I'll stick those together when I'm ready. And this bit of guttering needs a bit of glue. Managed to make some tiny little chimney pots just by rolling up some appropriately coloured paper and gluing it. But yeah, the little down pipes sort of stick out a tiny little bit. and with quite a lot more patience and the magnifying glass and the new knife, these have turned out really well. Even stuck on the awning on this shop. I'm not sure whether the glue's dry on this, but needs sort of levelling up a little bit. So let's go and take a look in the shed, because I have done a little bit more work on Comberton Hill. And we are back in the shed. We've got the buildings in place, the new ones at the bottom there. Had to bring the camera out quite far to get the whole street in. The first problem you see at the left end of the street as you look at it, we've now got that big shadow that's cast by the backboard. So I need to do something about the lighting there. Also, thanks for the suggestions. I'm not sure why I didn't think of this, but I was discussing whether to chop this off or not, and a lot of people said why not just curve it down. So as you can see, I've started to mark that out to give me a rough idea. So I think I'll chop that off and just sort of gently curve it up like that. So that should help a little bit, but we still need to sort of get a light from over here, sort of pointing that way to get rid of that shadow. But what else have we done on Comberton Hill? If we start up the top, we can see we've got more walls and a lot more sort of trees growing up behind, so from the bank behind the bridge, to try and disguise that scenic exit. So that's okay. You may notice that the pavements have changed colour. So the real pavements are tarmac rather than sort of slabs, and it was bothering me a little bit, so I just got some dark artist's chalk and just literally just rubbed that across, and it's sort of hidden the slabs and made it look a lot more like the tarmac that's there, so quite pleased with that. And we've got the other scale scenes kit from last time, and the Metcalf kit's in place now. The other thing I've done here is adjusted started to adjust the pavement a bit so it cuts in, because there is a sort of parking bay along here. Need to do some lines, but we've got the bay now, so we can put cars parked there and still have cars get past on the road. There's a sort of almost finished garden wall I've added here. Need to chop that off and put some capping on top to get that in place and finish off the sort of neaten this bit up. Here we have a road that turns in, hence the gap. So we need to figure out some curved pavement for there and some road to finish that bit off. And then we've got our new scale scene shops, which I think they're going quite nicely. And even I'll glue those together shortly. Now I've got the right sort of idea of the slope. I even put some, I don't know if that's coming out on the camera, but I'll glue some pizza boxes down somewhere on the street as a bit of litter, because we have got a pizza takeaway place there, so there would be undoubtedly a bit of rubbish floating about. So for now I've just taken this end board off, but in doing so I've found that it's actually more the angle that creates the shadow. So when you do that, there's a shadow, but if you angle it like this, there's no shadow. So I think I'll put it more like that, and I'll still sort of chop most of it off, perhaps not quite that much, and that should solve that problem. And I'm trying to decide what to do next, basically. There is another platform to build. Obviously another platform goes there, but I don't think I can take any more scale scenes kits for the moment. I need a break from those. So yeah, I'll try and figure out what else I can do. Maybe a bit of tarmacking on the car park, or maybe try and do something with this back area here. No change down here. However, I've decided to, as I said, have a go at this back bit here. So what I've done is got some PVA paper soaked in PVA, scrumpled up, so papier-mache style, underneath here. We've got the little cutout there that's for the walkway. So that's just a card sloping down, bit of card sloping down with, it's just 1mm grey board, literally with artist's chalk rubbed on it, black and grey, and keep playing with it until you get a nice sort of tarmac effect, and quite pleased with that. It's quite a quick way to get a decent looking bit of pavement. So yeah, supporting all that is now quite solid is papier-mache underneath. I do sometimes use the Woodland Scenic's shaper sheets, which is like a foil backed sheet with material on the top that you can put plaster on, but A, I've run out, and B, I just had a load of scrap paper and PVA lying around anyway, so I've used that and it's worked quite well. Built a wall, as we can see here. Still a few gaps that need some attention, but it's coming along okay. So we've got the brick wall on the platform and covered the whole lot in fine turf earth, Woodland Scenics. So plastered it in PVA. I think this is just a sheet of paper that's just sort of folded around. Then a couple of coats of a couple of goes at the fine earth, because there were a few patches. I should really have painted underneath it a generic sort of greeny brown colour first, but ended up doing 2 or 3 rounds of fine turf instead. Once that was all dry, obviously then covered it in PVA again and got the old static grass out. I've got the knock 2.5mm, yeah, whatever that says, and my trusty homemade static grass applicator. And as you can see, covered it in static grass and deliberately made this area patchy because it's going to be covered in trees, so there wouldn't really be a lot of grass growing there. I wanted a sort of patchy mud and fallen leaves and just patches of grass effect, which is how it's turned out, so pleased with that. Moving along, you can see I've now sort of joined up the progress we had over there and sort of carried on the fine turf earth and static grass. And this is all sort of muddy, patchy ground with some old, disused, abandoned lines on, hence the grass and sort of mud in the middle of the tracks. I might sort of clean that up a bit so I can still actually run the trains along there, but in reality I don't think those lines are ever actually used. In fact, I suspect they may not even be there anymore. They were definitely on a track plan that I used to figure this all out, but I'm not actually sure whether in reality those tracks have been removed now. And it's these two tracks that I'm talking about. These two are the mainline tracks, so obviously they'll be cleaner. And it's not got any glue on it yet, but I've started putting down some ballast, as you can see, using the ballast spreading tool. Yeah, I should really have done all the ballasting by now, but it is not my favourite job, so I've been putting it off and putting it off. And obviously when you get to this is now all stuck down, so that's going to be quite awkward to ballast. I should really have done it earlier, but as I say, I don't like ballasting, so I think I am going to do a bit more on this, possibly plant some trees over here, and then I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and get on and finish the ballasting and filling in, I'm trying to find one, filling in the gaps in the sleepers, such as here. Need to cut some sleepers and fill in those gaps, and then just cover it all in watered down PVA with a drop of fairy liquid, as per the textbook. But yeah, a bit more progress. Now, I realised that I needed a platform shelter, a sort of modern engaged platform shelter for the Kidderminster Station platform. So that's what I typed into Google, and what came up was PD models and the modern station shelter, which looks very similar to what I need. So ordered that from their website for £2 or £3, I think. Obviously got to paint it, but that's a laser cut card kit. And then something else happened, and we got some bins and some pallets, a boat, some domestic gas bottles, industrial gas bottles, and a traction engine. So yeah, the dangers of internet shopping. These are all 3D printed things that need painting up, but they should be good for sort of detailing the yard sort of area around the turntable. The gas bottles, this is obviously for the river section. I can either put that on the bank or get a figure in there, and pallets can go pretty much anywhere, but bought them again for the sort of more messy sections by the turntable. These might go on the platform and paint those up, but I think first of all I'm going to try and build the shelter. But let me just show you the let me just show you the traction engine. So I think all of these were sort of £2 or £3 each, and then the traction engine was sort of £7 or £8. It's going to take some painting, but it is a really nice little model. Excuse my hands, I've been gluing scatter to seafoam trees, so hands are a bit dirty, but I couldn't resist that when I saw it. Really detailed. So that should be good at the sort of Kidderminster Severn Valley station outside the front. They do sort of have steam rally days where they have a lot of these. So if the painting turns out any good, I might have to get some more of those. Now I have made some progress over on the Kidderminster station area. So I think I'll have a go at building this and then let you see what else I've done. So another quick update before I leave you. That's end board is a lot shorter now. I really had a good go at it with the saw, and it's just sort of temporarily attached for now. But the shadow, that's my shadow, but the shadow from the board is gone. So that's good. And we have a lot more trees over here, so I've carried on working on the sort of Kidderminster train section. And the shelter's roughly in place where it will be. So I've been making a lot more seafoam trees. And that's starting to look how I would like it. And also I've got some more of the ballast down, and I've started, so over here I've filled in some of the sleepers. Still many more gaps to fill in though, and I've not put any glue down yet. I've also been filling in the sort of gaps down here where the ballast was just dropping through the hole in the baseboard and through to the floor, so that's sorted now. But the street and station is starting to take shape. Quite pleased with how it's going. There's just a lot of it to do. But I'll leave the video there and carry on working. So for now, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Perfect.